Remember, pay attention, y'all. They have to let us know first before they can do anything to us. That's heavenly rules, right? That's how God laid it out for these little demon mother. They can't with us without letting us know that they're about to with us.
I was kind of going through a period, I was having a struggle with hopelessness.
Oh, okay.
And it was just really, the world is just in a dark place.
Yeah.
Why did Malcolm-Jamal Warner, who was rescued by onlookers, die after receiving treatment from the Red Cross?
Then let's go to the date he actually died on, which is July 20th, which is the 201st day of the year. Yeah, can anybody tell me why The Cosby Show ran for a total of 8 seasons, equaling 201 episodes?
They're gonna come for you. You're too clean for this game. That's what Eddie Griffin told Malcolm-Jamal Warner, not in front of cameras, but behind closed doors. A private warning from a man who's seen how deadly this industry can get at, and now, Malcolm is gone. Drowned in the waters of Costa Rica while on vacation. But the way the story twisted, it's shady as hell. At first, the headlines screamed that Malcolm died trying to save his daughter from a riptide. It was everywhere: social media, news outlets, even Us Weekly ran with it as fact. Then without warning, the story flipped. Now, they say his daughter wasn't even in the water, and here's what makes it worse. Malcolm's wife wasn't there that day. Yet we're expected to believe he took his 8-year-old daughter to one of Costa Rica's most dangerous beaches, no lifeguards. Warning signs everywhere. If the daughter wasn't in the water, like they now claim, that means she was alone on the sand while he swam. That's not who Malcolm was. This was a man who adored his family above all else. He prayed for his daughter before she was born, and often said she was the blessing he manifested.
So even before conception, we were very clear we were having a girl. And I knew that I needed a girl first to kind of ease me into it, because I have a pretty good idea of what kind of father I would be. So I needed a girl to kind of, slow me down and warm, soften me up, if you will. So for me, raising my daughter, I came into fatherhood already with a certain maturity and certain understanding of male-female dynamics. And with a girl, all of that starts with the father. So I've always, since I literally pulled her out of my wife.
Even in one of his final interviews before his death, Malcolm spoke about how his wife and daughter were his entire world. Everything he did was for them.
Met my wife through a mutual friend. I've never second-guessed it. We've been together almost 10 years, and we have never had a fight, an argument, a raised voice, or a harsh word said to me.
In 10 years?
I was like, if I'm going to have a kid, this is the person that I would want to have it with. I talk about them because there are obviously the hugest parts of my life, the best parts of my life, the best decisions I've ever made.
So, what really happened on that beach in Costa Rica? Because Eddie Griffin didn't issue that warning for no reason. He's been in this industry long enough to know its dark patterns, how it singles out people like Malcolm, a black man in Hollywood with no scandals, no handlers, no self-destructive storyline. Someone who spoke out against the system and tried to uplift young black boys. And you know what? They've never liked that. They never will.
He says, the thing about a black boy is you don't necessarily want to beat a black boy. What you want to do is you want to love him so divinely. You want to love him so fiercely that your disappointment will kill him. You want to adore him so much that the last thing he wants to do is disappoint you.
Malcolm refused to play the Hollywood game. He didn't chase clout, didn't take clown roles, didn't sell out. He stayed low-key but purposeful, working on his own terms. Recently, he'd been reconnecting with others who walked away from the machine people like Dave Chappelle and Mos Def. That's when Eddie pulled him aside again and said something chilling. If you stay clean, they'll get you. They don't like clean.
There's no criminal charge.
There is a systematic effort to destroy every black male entertainer's image. Nobody leaves this business clean.
If you think Malcolm's death doesn't feel accidental, you're not alone. Many are echoing Eddie's warning, especially with how the media keeps dancing around the facts. Right after the news broke, the first reports claimed Malcolm and his 8-year-old daughter were both in the water, caught in a rip current. But less than 48 hours later, Costa Rica's Judicial Investigation Agency released a new version. Yes, Malcolm was playing with his daughter near the shore, but she'd already gotten out when the current pulled him under. They now say Malcolm and a friend were swept away. The friend escaped. And instead of one rescuer, it was several beachgoers who pulled him out. And here's the twist, they claim 3 tourists. All doctors were on the scene. They managed to save the other drowning man, but couldn't revive Malcolm. These constant changes, they're setting off alarm bells. Playa Ocodal, where it happened, is infamous for violent rip currents and zero real protection. Studies call it Costa Rica's most dangerous beach. Even Olympic swimmers struggle there. Yet we're supposed to believe Malcolm took his daughter there while his wife stayed at the hotel in a day with no lifeguards at all. The volunteer lifeguard group admitted the beach was basically unpatrolled due to lack of resources. Yes, there are warning signs, but they don't explain why the official story keeps shifting.
So this is the beach where all this unfolded, but really, as soon as you get here, even before you get onto the beachhead, you can see some warning signs for people who are coming to enjoy the day here. It says Corrientes de Resaca todo el año, basically warning people there is a current here throughout the year. You can see there are warnings for surfers, there's warnings about wave conditions, and then take a look at this massive sign says you can survive a rip current. Clearly, they're warning people about the conditions that can develop, and unfortunately, the conditions appear to have pulled out Malcolm-Jamal Warner over the weekend.
Think about this for a second. First, they sell us a tragic father saves daughter rescue story. Then poof, it disappears. And now, silence. Meanwhile, this wasn't just any beach, it's a known death trap. No lifeguards. Warning, signs everywhere telling you not to swim. These aren't small details, they're giant. Flashing red flags. If this was truly just an accident, why keep rewriting the script? Why let the world believe Malcolm's daughter almost drowned with him, only to erase that detail later? And where's the press conference? The footage? Anything. Eddie Griffin warned him stay clean in this game, refuse to sell out, and you paint a target on your back. Malcolm wasn't your typical Hollywood celeb. He didn't play the game. He refused humiliating roles, never put on a dress for a skit, and he didn't stay quiet either. In 2021, he wrote a blistering op-ed for the Television Academy calling out white executives, producers, and directors as the gatekeepers of black representation on TV. He said that even when black creatives are allowed input, the stereotypes remain, just dressed up in fancier clothes and higher paying jobs. Then there was his podcast, Not All Hood, where he exposed how Hollywood and the media box all black people into the same tired, damaging stereotypes.
The reason for the title is combating the narrative of black life, black culture that the media focuses on. And
that we're all one thing.
Yeah, and the whole concept is, we're not all hood. The black community is not a monolith. There's so many levels and lanes to the black community.
Malcolm also called out the rot in modern rap and hip-hop, misogyny, toxic masculinity, all of it. He pushed for accountability, for healing in the community. But that's exactly the kind of truth major record labels hate, because they profit off division and negativity.
There should be a moratorium on both of those words in hip-hop, because it's low-lying fruit, it's so easy, everybody does it, to the point that it's corny. Like there are MCs who I love, who I cannot listen to anymore because I love J. Cole, but I had to stop listening to J. Cole because I got tired of hearing and
as much
every 2 sentences, because he's proven himself to be such a incredible lyricist.
that you think it's just too low-hanging fruit for him to use those words.
He even took aim at the cheap, overused language in hip-hop, saying it's lazy. Low-hanging fruit, and calling out artists he actually respected for it. When the Kendrick versus Drake beef exploded last year, Malcolm didn't play along. He didn't pick a side. He called it what it was, a distraction. He said it's sad that hip-hop only gets mainstream attention when it's about beef, violence, or some other negative drama. Malcolm never towed the line. He pushed against the narrative every chance he got. He refused to be controlled. He refused to sell his soul. Maybe he got too close to the truth. Maybe Eddie's warning wasn't just friendly advice, it was a survival tip. Eddie's tribute, after Malcolm's death, was telling. He called him a father, a son, a poet, a musician, an actor, a teacher, a writer, a director, a friend, a warrior I went to war with against the Hollywood machine. But here's where things get darker, sources now claim. Malcolm was digging into something even more explosive than Hollywood corruption. Allegedly, he was on the verge of exposing a secret so dangerous the elites would kill to keep it buried. In one of his final Instagram posts, Malcolm wrote,